Hi everybody, it's time for us to take a look at those midterm portfolios, and I have to say I've just been looking through all of them and they're so exciting and I'm so proud of everybody. It's just wow, this is such a great class. So I'm just thrilled. That said, I'm going to be picking on everybody. But this is our chance to look ahead toward the final and then kind of understand what I'll be looking for, once we get there. So it's just, don't feel bad about anything that you've done for this week because, I think everybody's done an exceptional job. But like I said, I've got to point out some things so that you know what to do in the future. Alrighty. Let's take a look at Angela's, and Angela's is so exciting and fun. I just love these backgrounds, and it's just such a cute title. I'm like the kind of person that just obsesses about the font and, spends hours on just that step alone. So I get all that you've put into these. And this is just beautiful. I just love this. Gorgeous, opening to this section, Portraiture. And yeah, this is adorable. And I love your titles, and I love your notes. And these are also gorgeous. So that section, very successful. And I also notice, I'm pretty sure that you paid attention to aspect ratio. So, these two images are the same exact aspect ratio, which is important when we get to the final. This one, it appears to be. But yeah, those look great. And still life, again, love this. So pretty. And, this one I understand is really special, and it deserves its own category. It's not like you would be able to make more Vanitas, you know what I mean? It's just, this is special on its own. And I think that the notes are just wonderful. So that is perfect. And, I found this interesting that you added in some more still life photos. And, we've got a variety of shapes here. And I really like the shadows. The shadows and the different shapes. So those are cool. And then this is a fun idea. You within a category, you've got so many other categories. So this is really cute. And I kind of wonder what game this is. It seems like like D&D, but maybe a modern version of it. Don't ask me because I would not know. When I was a kid, excuse me, when I was a kid, my brothers played, and all they had was a book. It was like a pamphlet. And they would just sit around that pamphlet for like multiple hours with their friends and play, This is like early 80s. And then these two pair nicely. I think a lot of you are going off my project that I turned in and how I fit things together. And that was a plan for, temporarily. I ended up not doing that in the final. But it is kind of fun to create diptychs, 2 photos paired together or 3. So I think that these two work well. This one for me is more about the shallow depth of field. And then this one is a deeper depth of field. And I suppose it could be considered a still life, but to me it's more of like an interior. And I think that that's an opportunity for the category. Interiors. And here's your landscapes. This looks really good. Yeah, I love this. And it's so nice and straight. You know how obsessed I am with that. And then these two go well together. Both nice and straight. I'm not sure about the aspect ratio here though. So one of the things I learned early on is to keep verticals with verticals and horizontals with horizontals. But, you know, it's okay to break the rules sometimes. And, you know, I see your attention to detail here, how you sized it so that they work together. And same here. And these are really pretty. You know, wait till we get into landscapes. You're going to have a great time. And then this one, you know, it feels more like an old photo. And I think it's just the light. You know, we've got a little bit of an overexposure here, but I think it works. Floral. And this one is, you know, your highlight. So, and I love that you're doing HDR images, you know, and you can really tell. They just have a special look to them. You know, they're so sharp and so deep, and you know, there's nothing that is overexposed or underexposed. So this is really beautiful. I think these two work together. This one is so colorful, so rich in color. And these two are nice together as well. This one of the two is my favorite. Just I like the contrast between the bright and the more dull, and the clear and the, you know, the out of focus. And then I love the three flowers, how they kind of play together, you know, to move your eye throughout. So it's got like almost like a spiral composition. So that is lovely. And then this is funny, new category, Yum Yum. And this beautiful image. You're making a sale here, and you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. You could actually show these images to your favorite coffee shop and say, you know, I'm a photographer, and if you're interested, I would love to take some pictures for you. And you never know. That might turn into a lucrative endeavor. And this is really pretty too. It really shows off the flavors. So you can point that out to them. This one, you know, is not my favorite. It does look luscious, but I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like it needs more light or something. Some kind of interest. Like I would love to see it paired with a cup of coffee, or, you know, it needs a little bit more. It's a good image though. It's a good image. Just for me, it needs a little bit more. Because, you know, you've set this really high level now, so I've got to make you keep achieving. Here's your critters. Cute. I have a student named Freya this year. So this is pretty. I like it, but it's not quite clear. This one is clearer, but we've got some kind of washed out highlights here. So that's something that you could maybe work toward getting better images by the end, and then you could have pet portraits, or, you know, I like the title critters though. And this is funny that he gets a special title, because this is a great photo. It really is. It's like stock photo. And, you know, don't miss out on adding those to the stock photo websites, because you never know when it could be lucrative for you. This one, I don't know about that phrase. To me, it just, I don't know if I'm too old school with that. I really do like the web, but I feel like it's not prominent enough. So for me, I would probably reshoot this one, and, you know, maybe you can get some color on the spider itself, you know, get in really close. But it's a great idea. But, you know, this story is funny. We've all done that, I think. Okay. Oh, she's pretty cute. Do you call her that for short? Oh, cute. There's little Charlotte. And I really like this picture. Have you ever seen, it was the Mary Poppins movie with Tom Hanks. And it was a Disney, you know, and I think Tom Hanks was Walt Disney. And the little girl grew up, and she still liked to play with, you know, plants and leaves and make these little scenes, you know, just put together these little things. And this, you know, with that lighting coming through the jar, and this is just a beautiful area, and this is beautiful. So I really love that. And I just love, you know, all the greens and the moss. But that is so cute. And I love the little story here. And this is super cute too. Adorbs. And this is the one I was thinking, Angela, that Charlotte looks younger. I don't know if it's like an illusion, but she looks much taller here. And, you know, maybe I'm just misinterpreting the image. But, you know, I believe you. If you tell me it was in the time frame of the course, I believe you. And super cute. Love the colors. So these are great. All right. Excellent work, Angela. And let's see. Next is Ellis. Because we're going alphabetical order. And I love the font that you chose here, Ellis. Nice, simple, to the point. And here are your photo walk images with that kind of just deep steel blue against this little bit of brightness. And you called this a photo walk. Okay, good. And this one is also, you know, it wants to lead us in. There's a Walker Evans photo called, I think it's called Into the Garden. It was about his two little children walking through like a tree tunnel like this. And you've got to look it up. It's so cute. But yeah, this is, you know, beautiful color, and it's inviting. And there's your kitty. So I do love this photo. However, I think that your cat needs to be brightened up a little in order to, I mean, we've got these cool colors here, and this feels really warm in comparison. And I just want to see the whites be white, you know? So I think I would select him as a subject. I think it's a him because he has a mustache. But I would select him as a subject, and then I would, you know, like you can create a mask and just brighten the subject. So that's one of those things you can do in Photoshop or in Camera Raw. So select subject. And then you can play around with that a little bit. On that note, I must say I do tend to look for, you know, when I give some advice, you know, for improvement, it's okay for you to choose your own way. But one of the things I'll be grading you on in the final portfolio is your how you've responded to advice. And I hope that doesn't sound like, you know, I'm demanding anything, because I'm certainly not. It's your choice in the end. But it is something for you to consider. And then we've got Still Life. And there's Milk and Honey. That was a favorite. This to me almost looks like milk fresh out of the cow. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's a little bit not white, you know, because it's like a warm light. So I feel like, you know, it could be brightened up a little bit. You know, you could do that with selecting the subject again and just increase the contrast, and that would fix that for you right up. And then you can also add titles to these, because I think you have some fun titles. And then this one, you know, I talked about cropping this, but you know, I think I tend to really like it, the flow of it and the diagonal, and how it goes from cool to warm. So I agree with this edit. And then here, I think with the plates, it definitely appears like you brighten this up. It feels more colorful, and yeah, looks great. And here's your foodie. And then the Oreos, I still think that they look a little bit dark. You know, from like, it's well centered and it's well composed. This one I think could be a little more clear. And I think I would like to see some lighter white, you know, just so that you're getting what you expect out of an Oreo. So as if it were product photography. And then this is a really nice composition too. But I would play with that a little bit more, just to see if you can get that, get the whites a little bit whiter. And then this one I love. This is great. But also I think, isn't that funny? Alt text, a stack of chocolate cookies, automatically generated. How about that? Isn't that fun? So that's for people who are vision impaired, or, you know, otherwise impaired, so that they know what's going on, you know. But yeah, I would bring up the whites for sure. But well done, Joshua. You followed all the directions and you got everything in, and it looks good. All right, next is Jess. And Jess, her title, This Is Me. So cute. By the way, Jess, I love your new avatar in the discussion board. It's so cute. And then this is such a pretty picture as well. And this is where I can see a little bit of resemblance to your sister that's coming up. And I really like, you know, the heart symbol as your bullet point. And this top, so gorgeous. And I do like that you started out with your little sister, and that's fair game, because you shared that with us in the first week. And this is a beautiful photo. It's just soft and lovely, and her eyes look amazing. And the color of her hair and her lips, I mean, it's just beautiful. And it looks like she's down in the cornfield too, so that's really cute. The greens bring out the green in her eyes. So yes, lovely. And I really like the little story as well. Okay, here's our photo walk. And of course, this is an excellent photo. The only thing I have to say about this one is right away I noticed that it is now more of a square than a vertical or a portrait image. And I honestly really like it so much more with its original aspect ratio. So that's something that I want you to watch out for too. So, don't worry about for today or this week, but by the end of the course, when we're, creating our final portfolio on our website, I want to see, your groups with matching aspect ratios. Okay. So say this one was 3:5 or 4:6, and now it's, 4:5. So that it changes things, and it just, it's a better image with your original viewpoint. And I often feel that way with mine as well. Hold on, I'm getting a problem here. Oh no, it's fine. Okay, and I love this. I feel like you could add a little story here as well. You don't necessarily need a story, but maybe a caption or a title where you're kind of suggesting the fact that we've got this kind of aura in the room. And I think that would make people look longer and stay with the image a little bit longer, and that's always a big sign of success. If you can get people looking and talking, that's the biggest sign of successful artwork, and that's what we're doing. Okay, and then your walkway, great. So you can, if you're going to go with titles, go with titles throughout. And this really does feel like a photo walk. So that works with that title. Okay, now here we've got the famous depth of field photo, the bee. Gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. I would probably call this something related to depth of field. So shallow depth of field or just depth of field. And I would also, with this one, if you want to make a little series of depth of field photos, and then they're all the same size, the same aspect ratio, so this one feels like a square to me, and whereas the original was landscape. So, I like it as a square, but you're going to have to make sure that this group for depth of field, or whatever you're going to call it, is all the same aspect ratio. Okay? But yep, lovely, stand out. And then this one feels like a completely different category, even though I know it was in the same lesson, and we were talking about light metering and depth of field and shutter speed and all of that. And the color's beautiful, so I could see how you might want to pair those together and have those, like in a series. But for me, it feels just very different. Very different. Just, my thoughts. And of course, we love these dolls. Oh, they're so pretty and spooky. So remember that for the final, I mean, and it is suggested in this as well, you know, in our directions, that we were to have 3 photos for each. However, I am happy to see the direction where you're going, and you know, if it's not filled up yet, you know, with the minimum of 3, that's okay. You know, we can always add to this. I mean, this to me feels like its own category, you know, doll photography. I just, you know, I feel like you've got a collection, and there's an opportunity for you here to do more. And then your foodie photo, and this one is beautiful as well. But just keep in mind that we've got to add to this category if we're going to keep that category. All right, Jess, wonderful work. And now we've got Joshua. Okay, Joshua has got, I really like the simplicity of this, your slideshow here. And I just made everybody's a PDF so that I could go to a whole photo at a time, if you know what I mean, you know, like a whole page at a time. And this is just so stellar. I mean, I feel like, I think it was Madison that was talking about entering a photo contest. This could be in a photo contest. It's really that good. It's like it's beautiful. It's so well composed. You know, this kind of diagonal of the smoke and how it leads to other diagonals, you know, and it just, it's really awesome. So football theme. This is also a great photo. And I think if you're doing a football theme, you could also include your poster that you created. You know, there could be a category where you're doing graphic design, and I think that would be a really, really good idea for you because you're obviously very skilled at it. And which reminds me, for Jess, I thought the same thing because her composite image was so good with the child in the room with the chair. I think that would be an extra category for Jess as well. And then this one is just kind of a classic triangle composition, and if you've ever seen The Last Supper, you know that's another one of those classic triangle compositions, and it just works so well. Great choice. And I love how you call this football watch party meals. Oh, what a great idea. And oh, yum. That looks so good right now. I didn't eat my supper yet. So I'm having blueberries in my ginger ale. I'll have a little snack. And your epic rolls or buns, or you know, everybody calls them different things, but so buttery, so delicious. Great image. And this too, this is such a great foodie photo. So great category there. And then we've got depth of field and shutter. I would probably say shutter speed. Just for clarity. And then I like how you called it dog days. That's cute. And we've got shallow depth of field. And I love this picture. Gosh, that is so cute. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful color, beautiful background. I like the composition, there's interest here, here again we've got kind of a triangle, right? So that's a great image. And I like this profile as well. I think with this one, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I would probably select the subject and just brighten him up a little bit, just so that we can see the detail of the eye a little bit more. But great, great, great. Excellent work. Oh, and I like the thank you at the end too. Okay, very well done, Joshua. Okay, and here's Katie. Katie likes green like me. I love green. That said, this is very saturated and bright. I don't know if I would tone that down just a notch, maybe. But it's really pretty. I'm happy with it. And then I kind of like this idea of your table of contents. That's like graphic design there. We'll have to ask Kira because she's the expert, our resident expert, about this style. I like it. We know what this image is all about, but I don't know if your viewers would understand it. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know if I would choose this one just for that reason, unless you were going to include more of it and, maybe put a little caption down here, really small, like in white, or, somewhere where you can see the white really well. I think that would work. So still life, I really like the way you're doing the slides with the title and, it's like shallow depth of field. It's so photography. It's so photography speak, and it's a great font. I love this as your first image. Love it. And I love this one as well. And I love this one. Those shadows are just, love it. So great category there. And then this, it's funny how it's all one word, but why not? Everybody can understand what it is. And again, I like the style. And this one's really nice. And this one as well. And this one too. So very pretty. Nice category. And depth of field. This is like one of my favorite images that you've created this semester so far. If you know this family, I would get their model releases, and we'll be talking about that when we get into portraiture. But it's print worthy, it's frame worthy. It's beautiful. It's so good. That said, I do notice a difference in aspect ratio with this one. See how it's more square compared to, say, this one. And this is another great image of yours. It's emotional. And I almost feel like these could use a caption just so, this kind of speaks for itself, and so does this one, but as a series you might want to just give it a title that speaks to the group of images. So that's something to think about. And this works really well with those two. And those three work great together. And then this is a really fun ending picture. I think this is awesome. Just awesome. Great job, Katie. Here we have Kira, our resident graphic designer specialist. And I think this is just a gorgeous design. It's gorgeous. I love the fonts. This just, it works. It works. And I think it also works with your images. I mean, Angela had suggested that you don't need a list, but I mean, I don't mind it. I think because these are all from the garden, right? Let me come back to that. Let me think about that. Okay, Portraiture, gorgeous. This is one of my favorite photos of yours. So beautiful. And this one, you know, talking about contests, like Madison is entering a contest, and then I suggested that Joshua do as well. But this one is also amazing, and I think you should consider. I think you should consider entering a photo contest. I mean, look at that light, that pink light, that shine, and his expression, and the light coming through the droplets and the shallow depth of field and the whole color story. It just really, really works. It's almost to the point where I feel like I'm not sure that they belong together because they're both so amazing. Yeah, I would have to think about that once we get past portraiture. Think about if maybe you want to do some pet portraits versus, you know, people. So that might be a thought to consider. See, this one would work with the other pet portrait, right? So there's a thought for you. You know, you might have two categories there and within the one. Oh, and this one. You've already got 3 for pet portraits. And, you know, if you want to give it some fun title, you can. But I love this picture too. It's so cute. It's really well done. It has such a nice composition. Gorgeous. Your cats are gorgeous. And then I thought it was interesting that you decided to include this in still life rather than food, but then you also had another of the peppers in the foodie category. So, I don't know about that choice. But like I say to everyone, this is just my thoughts. I don't want you to think that you have to do exactly what I say. Of course you don't. I mean, the slide altogether is beautiful. The color is beautiful. I even wonder if you sampled, in Photoshop, took a little sample of that color so that you could see, you know, a matching color over here. So smart. You know, eyedropper tool, you can take a sample of the color. Because we got a mosquito in here. And you know, I love this picture. It's really pretty. Like I said, I would work on this area a little bit more and try and clean that up. So, I mean, super clean. This is absolutely stellar. Absolutely stellar. And just love this photo. It's gorgeous. It's perfect. No complaints. I mean, no critiques. And then this one, I think you feel like this is more still life than foodie is what I'm guessing. And perhaps that is the case. But I think it could work equally as well in your foodie photo. And I really want to encourage you to consider reshooting this. And I know it was a pain, but I think you've got such a beautiful idea here that we want it to go to the next level. You know, we want it to be award-winning. So I'm going to challenge you there. And like I always say, I'm not demanding anything. I'm just firmly suggesting. But just a reshoot with, a super clean, shiny teapot could be simply incredible. And then I think this one works really well in the still life category. I might go into Photoshop and just straighten that edge. Just because I'm ultra picky, Just a suggestion though. And then from the garden, I notice you don't have an accompanying image. But this is super pretty. And I do love this photo. This one feels a little bit tightly cropped though. And this is really pretty too. I might saturate the yellow just a hair. But seeing all that fuzzy detail and, the play between the foreground and the background, just love it. And I love this slide. Oh my gosh, it's so adorable. So I would also say that this could work in your pet portraits, because portrait doesn't have to be a face. There's many different interpretations of what a portrait can be. So those are my thoughts. Wonderful work, Kira. And here comes Lorna. And Lorna. First, we're going to start with her foodie. Just see if I can get this a little closer so we can see the whole image. Hold on, I'll fix it. Alrighty, I think that's a little bit better. So this is very nice and simple. Something that one of the things that I've learned with doing like a portfolio like this, a PDF portfolio, is that often, and this is the case for me with my MFA, we were only allowed to choose a white, a black, or a gray background. And that is because, the showcase was to be on the images themselves. So I think you've made a smart choice here. Even though I love color, I'm not as strict. I like the progression of your foodie images to this, like ultimate masterpiece here. However, I think that it could almost be a triptych, one and then the other and then the other. Or you could decide to choose one of them, choose your favorite, and do more food photography so that we don't have 3 images that are so similar. So I hope you understand what I mean about that. But I do really like the progression. And looks like you've got all the same aspect ratio there. So it might be a nice, a triple. So something to think about. And your photo walk. And I did really like this image, and it's really nice to see the warm. I don't know. I'm just a fan of weeds. I don't know what it is. I just, it feels like life and death and, freshness and like the end of the season, things like that. So I think this is definitely a worthy image. I might increase the clarity on it, however, just so we can get just some super sharp detail. And you know how I feel about this. This is so gorgeous. I would frame it. I feel like you could do a whole series of images that are similar to this, that are, like understated and still, And this one is even more an example of that idea. But I would make sure that you've got the same aspect ratio in any 3 images in a category. So like the first 2, 1, 2, they have the same aspect ratio. And then this one, and I know it has to do with the horizon, but I would still recommend either cropping it to match. You could always lose a little bit over here, just so that you maintain the same aspect ratio, because that's important for the final. Okay, and then this one, you included that in Photo Walk, and I think it's so different than the others. I think I would put this in Still Life. Either that or Shallow Depth of Field or Depth of Field. I feel like this goes in a separate category, because this is another one of your stellar images. Shutter speed. And I love that you added to this collection. That is so cute. Your young man, he is a superstar. And I like how you just include that, you get the feeling that it's Dad, but it's not really Dad's portrait, So that was a great idea. And then here we got some action shots. I love the lighting in this image. I love your hubby's, kind of, you caught him in the moment there, that stance, and it just works so well with the shadows. So I'm a big fan of this one. And I see you've maintained aspect ratio, so that's great. Still Life. I'm thrilled to pieces that you reshot this with what feels like a more natural light to me. I think this is great. This one, I think you may have used your ring light again, either that or flash, and for me, it's not as successful. It's just, I guess I'm just really not a big fan of flash. And, the distortion of the image, I'm not crazy about. There's ways we could fix, distortion in Camera Raw or Camera Raw filter. And if you would like to save this image, I can help you with that. Just let me know. And this one I really like. It's almost like, it's just a lovely still life. I feel like, it goes so well. It just, the color story, the shadow, the reflection, even this shape over here. I really appreciate this image. So that one is great. And so I'm glad that you reshot to get some more still lifes. And then it's fun that you included this one too. You know, it's just so different than the others. All right, great work, Lorna. And we'll go on to Madison. Now, I think it's so cute, Madison, that, let me just fix this. Okay, so I got a little bit more centered. And what I was going to say is I love your title, Going Through Maddie's Eyes, because I love that name, Maddie. I think it's so cute, and I always want to call my students' name Madison Maddie. And some of them like it, and some of them don't. But I think this makes it so personal. And I love your opening slide. This looks really good. Really good. And then you start right off with exploring beaches. And here you've got this lovely diptych of these two sunsets. And I think they're both very pretty. And then here we've got two landscape images, but they're very different, you know, in their color story. But I still like the two together. And these two are nice as well. I don't know if I might just match up color stories. Do you see what I mean? You know, maybe this one with this one, and then this one with this one. I don't know if you've already tried that and you didn't like it. You like the contrast more. So you'll have to let me know what you think about that. And I think so many of us agree with you. The beach and the sunset. Yep, we've got to stay in touch with nature. It's so calming, it's so stress relieving, and it's really important, especially these days. Things just seem to be getting crazier and crazier, don't they? Here's your still life. And I do like your choice of background, you know, the style. And these are so fun. What a great pairing. And I mean, you've almost got the exact same aspect ratio. So for me, that's you know, I'm a stickler about that. So you might want to recrop, you know, one or the other just to get the same size if you're going to pair these together. So if this one is more like, you know, 4x5, and this one's more like 4x6, or even 5.5. I don't think it's that off. But, you know, make them match. And it's pleasing to our brains. And, you know, some people don't even know why it's so pleasing. It just is. And I want you to have the best portfolio for your website. And then here, you know, this is a pretty interesting triptych. However, I think I would choose one of these two to go with this one. And I think this one would probably be my choice, only because the tiles seem to kind of work together. And this one's got some blown out highlights. So that's just my thoughts. But I think it's a great idea to pair them. And I notice you maintain that aspect ratio perfectly. And then this image, I'm so pleased to hear that you're entering it into a contest. You have got to let me know what happens. I want to hear about this. And I think that's coming up, right? Because I know the little Miss Peanut is going on right now. I've heard all about that in my email. Yes, definitely. It's just supersonic. gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. So yeah, I feel like it deserves to be by itself. And maybe give it a title. Maybe. Alright, depth of field. These two work so well together. I noticed the aspect ratio is a little off, but I mean, they look beautiful together. And they're both really pretty. So we've got great compositions. And it's just nice to see the different species, right? I love butterflies too. And then this one also works for depth of field. And I wonder if you tried to straighten that horizon. And what did you think? You'll have to let me know, because I wonder if it was really about keeping the book straight for you was more important, or, you know, you tried it and you just didn't like it. So let me know about that one too. Honestly, think this one could increase the clarity or contrast just a little bit, just to bring out those colors, you know, make it a little more punch. Your photo walk. And then this is an interesting pairing. I think you did a good job with those two. And I love this pairing. That just, it works. Don't you just love how the tree works together and this curve continues? And I mean, it's just great. The color story. With this one, I would still suggest selecting the subject and increasing the exposure just a little bit, and maybe the contrast, so that we can see a little bit more detail. And this one works really well on its own, so that looks great. And food. These two look pretty cute together. I kind of wonder why you didn't choose the ones in the side view. That I remember last week I suggested that you just fix the spots on the side of the pumpkin container. Dish. It's a dish. Yeah. So yeah, those are cute together. And those are cute together. So that was a really nice choice. That looks great. All right, well done, Maddie. I hope I can call you Maddie now. If you don't like being called Maddie, to let me know. And here's Tatum. Tatum has brought the pups to the party. And you know we love those pups. Oh, and this is such a great picture. Oh. This one could also be shallow depth of field. Beautiful. And this is so funny to me. I feel like, what happened here? Because I'm looking at this pup here. I don't remember her name. And there she is there. And I wonder how you got that super sharp clarity in just such a shallow area and such an extreme, you know, shallow depth of field. I mean, I love the shapes. I love the composition. This is, you know, this is really awesome. And, you know, I almost wonder if this isn't a composite, you know, like you have taken this image from another image and placed it here. So you're going to have to tell me how you did this, because I love it. It's great. And then this one, you know, oh my goodness, look at her eyelashes. She just looks like such a beauty. Such a beauty. That said, I'm not crazy about the background. And I feel like maybe this was turned, so you got, you lost part of the image. So if you wanted to keep this one, I think I would suggest doing like maybe a closer crop where you just see, our superstar here. You could also go horizontal and just get this area. So try some different things with that and let me know what you think. And then this, is a fan favorite for sure. So cute. I love it. I love everything about it. And then here's your florals, and this is such a sweet picture. I love the close-up here, the shallow depth of field, the light in the background. It's one of those compositions where your eye just wants to travel. Now that said, I think I would increase the clarity and maybe the contrast just a touch. Just play with that. Just, see what you think. I almost want to have like a true white in here somewhere. But I'm not the end-all be-all. This might literally be the perfect version of this photo. So just something to think about and maybe try. And I love this picture. Let's see how you're doing with aspect ratio. Looks like pretty good so far. And then this one feels, completely different, even though it's a floral. So I don't know if this should maybe be more depth of field than floral, because of the two outdoor ones work so well together. So just a thought. And then this one, I like it, and I think it works well with the first two. But it's honestly not my absolute favorite, and I guess I'm so discriminating, and I apologize for that. But the fake flowers. Other than that, this would be a beautiful photo. But that just a little bit, and I don't know, I'm just one of those people that I like nature. And again, just something to think about, I thought. Okay, and I think we have a blanket slide here. I'm not sure, but I think. And then I just love the title you gave to this little mini series, Manifestation. So this could be, we're going to be coming up on our personal series. And I do love when you have a series of images that work together, that you give it a title so that they feel like a story. So here we've definitely got a great beginning to the story, Netflix and relax. I don't know if anyone else would see that in the image, but to me it's so obvious that this stone is relaxing. And then this one's really cute too. Maybe your little crystal sat upright and turned on the lights because there was a scary part in the show. Okay, now I'm going on. But meaning is something that's really fun to talk about with photography. And then this is also lovely. Love this image. Okay, so great work, Tatum. Very nice collection. And I hope everyone will think about what I've said and give me some feedback. Please, respond to me with the video. I'm still not requiring it this week, but I really, really want to hear. So I want to be the most help to you with your vision. And I want you to come away from this class with the best of the best. Okay, good night, everybody.